So it's the first day back properly working in my studio. Yesterday I spent a lot of the day editing the video that came out for you guys last week. What I'm working on today, just to start the day off, is later this year I'm really keen to try out printing on fabric, like making a pattern fabric using lino block printing. And the first thing that I want to figure out for this is whether my oil-based relief prints are going to functionally work on fabric. So the first thing I want to test is, if I print on fabric, is it going to fade when I wash it? So I'm going to do two different tests, and then I'm going to wash one a bunch of times to see whether it fades in comparison to the one that's just left to dry and left to sit. In this stack of books, I have the prints that I'm about to list on my website. I will be listing them online today, so by the time this video goes live, they will be up. And while I'm going through and editioning these prints, I thought maybe I would have a chat to you about kind of my goals for this year and some of my thoughts kind of about starting the new year. So first I have to get these prints out. So I have this one. Now I did kind of already press it, but I just put them all in plastic and gave them another press, and I think they've come out even flatter than they were before, which is good. And then I've got all of these prints, and they're looking nice and flat as well. So first up, I'm just going to go through and pull them all out from the plastic sheeting, and then I'm going to decide which ones are the best ones in the pile, which have any tiny errors, and which ones are as close to perfect as I can get them. And I'll create an edition based on that. I guess in thinking about my biggest goals for this year, so my focus for this year is really just focusing on my arts practice. I think it's easy to spend a lot of time in comparison and like watching what other people are doing in their online space and how that relates to their art practice. And my goals this year are really around focusing in on what I'm doing and the skills that I want to develop, rather than thinking so much about what is or isn't working for other people. What that materially means is that I'm really want to focus developing my work. Essentially, I want to spend a lot more time in my sketchbook. I want to spend a lot more time thinking about, this sounds like comparison, but it's not what I mean. When I say comparison, I mean comparing myself to other artists that are working now on social media, and like kind of more their presence and their brand rather than their work itself, where what I want to focus on instead is artists' work that I really love and resonate with more within history, and how like the techniques and the messages within their art. I want to spend more time kind of, I guess, on the study of art history as opposed to like kind of the more shallow focus on online branding and that sort of stuff. So that's all a preamble to say that I want to spend more time sketchbooking and developing work and working on my style and working on my technique. Alright, so that takes our addition up to 10, which is good. I'm happy with that. That's that addition. I've already additioned these. They all look pretty good. I've put these prints that didn't make the cut away, and I think there were 5 of these in the end. 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I tend to do with these prints is sometimes I take them to markets and sell them as kind of like, just like cheaply as imperfect prints. And sometimes what I like to do is cut them up and I'll write the thank you notes that I send with my orders on the back of them, so you get like a little bit of a live print along with your order. These need a little bit more of a press, but because I need to take photos of these today for the website, what I'm going to do is I will pick a couple and then I'm going to just repress those quickly today so that I can photograph them to go live today. Okay, so that just needs to press for a little bit longer so I can take nice photos of those. Along with the 2 prints that I will be listing online today, I also have new notebook colors. So the ones that you have seen me binding in this video are the new orange ones. So they're all Coptic bound, lie flat, and I have sketchbook paper and watercolor paper. I have been myself using the watercolor paper one in this color as like a creative commonplace book. So a commonplace book is a kind of notebook where you write down quotes and things that you find in the world as kind of like a way of remembering it, or like a personal encyclopedia kind of. It's like you write down the specific information that you're really interested in, that you want to remember and like be able to reflect on. It's not a space for your own content, it's a space for other people's ideas that you can look back on, essentially. So I've been experimenting this year with the idea of keeping kind of a commonplace notebook that's for art stuff. So kind of reflecting on the ideas of why artists make their work, or like their sort of mission behind their art, but also experimenting with their techniques and art styles in this notebook as a way to like properly experience their work and kind of study it. Because when you make a copy of someone else's artwork, which was a really common thing in art history, that you would study under a master and make like a master painter or a master sculptor or whatever, and make copies of their work to understand and experience how that work kind of functions. which you can look at something kind of casually, but when you're looking at something to reproduce it, you understand it in a kind of deeper way, and you have this time to really sit with the work and experience it in a different way. And so when I say I'm copying work into this, I want to be very clear that what I'm talking about is not stealing someone's work or reproducing it in order to sell it. What I'm talking about is reproducing work to understand it and therefore use the ideas and techniques to feed your own work, which is a really important kind of function of art making. Is art always sits within context, it always sits in conversation with other work, so it's really important to understand that other work. So when I was talking about like kind of making sort of art history and things more of a focus for myself this year, that's kind of what I was talking about. I guess that's one of the ways concretely that I plan to do that this year. So I have the pink version of this as well, this one, and that is my general sketchbook for my own work, and then I've got the orange one of this. My one is here, which is exactly the same, and that is my art commonplace book, where I'm exploring these ideas of other people's artwork and how they work. So it's kind of nice to have the two different colors, to have one for my stuff and one for understanding other people's work more fully. Anyway, so I'll be listing the new colors online today as well. If you are interested in any of the things that I'm putting on my shop, I will put a discount code and a link that if you click on it, it should give you the discount at checkout. That'll be in the description below, so check that out if you're interested in any of my work or supporting what I do. It really does help me out. Oh, the other thing that I thought I might talk about was one of my focuses this year. I've been thinking like long term about the idea of gratitude journaling, which is really good for your mental health, to reflect on like the good things in your life, but I find it really like hard and kind of corny to sit down and write, today I'm grateful for, I don't know, like the nice walk I had outside, my dogs, and the beautiful like food I had. Like it feels really forced to me. Something I was thinking about was that from time to time I've taken like more of an interest in photography and taking photos, and the years that I've done that, my memory of those years is stronger. I more vividly remember what I was doing in the years that I took the photos, even when I don't look back and see the photos very often. It's like it crystallized the time in my mind more vividly, and I don't have a very good memory, so it is kind of nice that there's these like points in time where somehow those memories have been more reinforced by the act of taking photos. But another thing I thought about was that when I was taking photos more often, I was looking for those things in my life that I particularly loved or enjoyed or felt gratitude for, kind of by default in the act of taking photos. And so I looked it up. I looked up whether photography is known to increase gratitude, and it in fact is. There has been a study done where people who mindfully take photographs feel more grateful, and it has the same benefit as gratitude journaling. So this year I have made it a goal to focus on taking photographs. So anyway, that was probably a little bit rambly, but given I've had a little bit of like a slow and kind of contemplative beginning to the year, I thought it would be good to just kind of reflect on those things, those like start of year thoughts and the ways that I plan to move forward for the rest of the year, and some of the directions I'm planning to go in this year. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it was maybe a little less focused than a lot of my videos are. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more content from me, primarily I work with a little bit of bookbinding and stuff, which you saw, but primarily my focus is printmaking with a little bit of other art and bookbinding stuff. But if you would like to see more of that, I put out new videos each week. Please subscribe to my channel. As ever, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.